Hi, my name is Malia Smith, and I get to help out with some communications things here at PEP. And I'm here today with Joanne Mastronicola, and I always butcher her last name. Can you say it for me?
Mastronicola.
Mastronicola. The kids
Yeah.
call her Mrs. M, and now I know why. And she is the operations manager for PEP overall, and then the administrator at the campus in Mandarin down in Jacksonville. And then Christine Haithcock, right? Yes.
That's it. Okay. Nice. Nicely done.
Thank you. She is the administrator at another of the Jacksonville campuses there in East St. John's. And we just wanted to have a conversation today just to talk with you about just kind of a vision and a heart for just this year as PEP celebrates an anniversary, and then a particular call that we feel for this year. So Joanne and Christine, I'll let you guys take it away.
Sure. Well, for those of you who don't know, PEP, that's the Providence Extension program. We've been around for 20 years now. We started September 11th of 2001, a very providential start. There's a wonderful story behind all that. You should read that on our website, which means we've just completed 20 years of this program. It is a 2-day-a-week homeschooling tutorial program where we come alongside parents to homeschool children with a biblical foundation, our worldview classes, prepare students to go out into this world. We just take that as our calling. Beth Smith, our founder, is still involved, and she's still passionate about this, and we just kind of follow her passion. But this year's focus, over the years, we've used several key verses. In 2 Peter, we look at preparing your minds for action. But this year, we really wanted to focus on Colossians 2:8. So we've got some, cute little emblems that show that stuff, but we use Colossians 2:8, which, let me just read that really quick. It says, "See to it that no one takes you captive by philosophy and empty deceit, according to human tradition, according to the elemental spirits of the world, and not according to Christ." We want to just go back, refocus. That's our initial calling, and we wanted to sit down back on that again as we move into whatever the Lord has for us next, another 20 years, maybe, who knows where this is heading. But that's kind of where we're starting for this coming year.
Love that. Okay, Christine, I know that you have a passion for just unpacking the scriptures and encouraging people. So we just want to set you loose on this passage, literally, and just no, please just encourage us. Every time I get to hear from you and talk with you, I am so encouraged by your passion. Yeah.
Thank you. That just humbles me, Malia. Thank you so much. I think the first thing that I want to say is there's so many things that are unique about what we do. I did not know anything about homeschooling as a young parent, and just through God's providence and his leading ended up with, when my youngest was in 7th grade, found PEP. And it's just such a unique thing in terms of just our model of that help for homeschooling teens, the 2 days a week. But the other thing that is just so unique and is different than more than just the 5 days versus 2 days, it's the philosophy about how we view education. Yeah. Because our vision is to really see education as part of the Great Commission, and that we are fulfilling the Great Commission by discipling. The discipleship and education are two things that you cannot pull apart, that they are inextricably linked together, and that all of education needs to fall under that purview of discipleship for our students. We want them at the end of the day, not just to know a bunch of stuff, but we want them to have a heart, a passion for glorifying God in all that they do. Excuse me, no matter what sphere of life they go into. So the whole view of education is very different. It's about formation of the person and not just about information. So, that's the heartbeat of our vision. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Early morning here in Florida with the fall pollen.
I've been doing the same thing. That's why I'm sipping away on my coffee. Yeah. Thanks, fall.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, our goal is that we want to address the mind and we want to address the heart. And so we use our
Yeah.
academics, our rigorous academics, to really challenge them for the purpose of coming after their heart. Because at the
Mhm.
end of the day, what our goal is that they would be able to discern
Mhm.
between what is good and what is bad, what is genuine and what is counterfeit.
Yeah.
But even more so than the discerning, we want them to be able to want what is good. We want them to have a
Yeah.
desire for that. So that's really the heartbeat. And it was not me who came up with this verse, the Colossians 2:8 verse, to celebrate, have be our theme verse for our anniversary celebration. But when I saw it, I thought there could not be a more perfect verse for us, because it fits our vision, it fits our goal, and
Mhm.
I think it fits where we're at with the times as well. It doesn't take much. Turn on the TV, open a book, flip open your social media, and we're feeling the shift. We hear it, we see it, that there's always been a culture out there that thinks very differently than a biblical worldview. A biblical worldview starts with the beginning of wisdom, is fear of the Lord, that all things start with him, that he is our creator, he's our redeemer, he's our sustainer, and to look at anything in life has to start with him as the starting point, that he's the one that gets to say how we're made and what we need and how we're going to flourish best. He's
Mhm.
the one that gets to put the limits on us. He's the one that sets us free to become all that he has intended for us in our creation. So any thought, idea, teaching, academic discipline, no matter what it is, it's got to start with him. And what Paul is writing about in Colossians, he's writing to a group of people that he had never visited before, but he sees them being taken captive by some ideas, by some philosophies. They had become Christians, they were new believers, but they were believing, yes, I believe in Jesus as the one, as God himself, who came in the flesh to live in our place, to die in our place, to redeem us from the curse of the law, to restore that relationship with God that had been broken through Adam and Eve's choice to disobey and not
Mhm.
live as God is the king of all things and the creator of all things. They had put their faith in that fundamental Christian truth, the heart of our faith, but they were kind of being led astray by other philosophies and ideas, that they had to perhaps do certain things, a kind of religiosity that, well, if I do these things, God is happy with me. Or if I don't do those things, God is happy with me. So a
Mhm.
religion of sorts, camouflaging itself as Christianity versus the message of a rescue, a loving God coming to rescue his people.
Yeah.
And then also a philosophy more of like in the Gnosticism kind of vein, that look to Jesus plus these other philosophies. And those can be very esoteric and vague, like I have to appease some gods in some kind of way, or I have to do certain things. Or I think in our culture, we have to adopt certain ideas. Jesus
Mhm.
plus
Yeah.
these ideas, these
Yeah.
philosophies coming in. And again, all you have to do is turn on the news and you hear that stuff coming. So he
Mhm.
lays out so clearly the supremacy and the sufficiency of
Mhm.
Christ, that
Yeah.
he is the one that all of reality is centered on. If you've got Jesus, you've got everything.
Yeah.
And he's the center of all reality. And he lays that out so beautifully in the first chapter, that he's the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of
Mhm.
all creation. For by him all things were created. Like I could go on and just read the whole thing, but it's like, here's your Jesus, here's who
Yeah.
he is, here's what he's done for you. And so then by the time he gets over to into chapter 2, so he says, so therefore, because these things are true, therefore, as you have received Christ, now walk in him. And that's part of this
Mhm.
discipleship model that we're trying to do through education is, yes, here's the truth, the heartbeat of what we believe as Christians. But now that you believe this, let's learn how to walk in him.
Yeah.
You're accepted. You're loved. Jesus has done it all. You are standing perfect and blameless before a holy God because of what Jesus has done for you. You've exchanged records. His record is now yours. So go learn to walk in that. And then the first thing he says is, so then see to it that you're not taken captive, that other ideas, false ideas, wanting to put your hope in other things or ideas or things that you do, it's captivity. It's deceitful. It's empty. It's human tradition. Like it's not going to serve us. So it's the perfect encapsulation of what it is that we are trying to do at PEP in terms of teaching kids to discern what is true because of what God says, and what is false because it's a worldly idea, it's a human idea, and those ideas are harmful because they take us captive.
Oof.
Well
Just went
said.
to church.
I know.
Sorry, I get going. Long-winded.
Don't apologize. Oof. Wow. That
Christine's
was
very passionate.
awesome.
I love it.
So good. So inspiring. Well, can I go to PEP?
Yes.
Can I go back?
We often comment as adults and staff. It's like, sometimes you've heard the line before, education is wasted on the young. I mean, we often talk about like, wow, we'd all love to just go back through PEP now as adults, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we glean so much more.
30th grade?
I know.
Exactly.
I love
Exactly.
it. Oh, well, thank
Exactly.
you so much. What a beautiful exhortation and encouragement to see to it and setting the table for that thought and that vision. This is not just some like cute campaign for the year.
No.
As you can see, this is rooted and grounded in God's word and who he has called us to be as his children, and then who God has called PEP specifically to be in this day and age. So thank you so much for setting the table for that so beautifully. And we'd love to hear from you all in terms of how you're seeing to it and how you can encourage others to see to it. You'll be hearing more from us on that as well this year too. So any final thoughts, ladies, before we bid everyone adieu?
No, thank you for setting this up. I'm excited to see what the Lord's bringing, because I've been with PEP for many years now, and it's just exciting to see how he brings people to the table and families and everything. It's just so the next 20 years, I can't wait.
I love it. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Wholeheartedly agree with that. It's very exciting to be on our campuses. I have had people who are interested who come in to just have a campus visit, from the moment they step in the door say, wow, I can tell that the Lord is in this place, that there's some exciting things that are happening here.
I love it.
And, and just even our process of, again, that discipleship of, it doesn't mean that it's perfect, and it doesn't mean that staff is perfect and that kids are perfect, but that's part of the joy of that discipleship model, is that we get to address those things and we get to come together, and then just the joy in that. I mean, we really are a family. This really is a partnership with parents, and it is such a privilege to be a part of that and come alongside parents with help for homeschooling teens that really centers on Christ and what he has done for us. It's just an absolute joy, and we just kind of, it's a tremendous amount of hard work on our part, but we love it because we get to sit back and just see the fruit of what God is doing in the hearts and minds of these young people, and it's truly a joy.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you again, ladies, and do hope everyone has a lovely rest of their day, and stay in touch. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.